Hello, it's Pattyjo. I am a little nervous about this one. This is not a DB video. I'm doing this. This is about a year out from the event, and I do want to preface with a couple of comments. I'm going to try not to prattle on, as I sometimes do. Okay, so these are. This is an incident with paramedics. The gentleman in this particular video, let's see. Oh, I wanted to pause. Okay, so the gentleman in this is all a matter of public record now, which is why I waited so long. Some of it is redacted. I'm not super good at editing out things. So I do want to pay respect to the person who did lose his life in this particular incident. This is for educational purposes. I'm going to try very hard not to be judgmental about it because I myself was not perfect by any stretch. I did, however, do over a decade of education in these areas, and so I'm going to try to look at it with that lens in mind. So like I said, all of this is a matter of public record now. These are well, documented videos for fair use. The report, I tried to get the autopsy report. I could not get the actual autopsy report, but the information in it is within the investigation report. That is also a matter of public record. Part of the video is redacted, but they do have a summary in there, which I am going to highlight. There's a picture in the report that I don't think I'm going to show. If I show it at all, I'm only going to show it for a second for one purpose only, and then we're going to read the paragraph about it, which again is a matter of public record and in my opinion very important in the education piece of this. So I'm going to compare this to a situation that I had in the same area with the same type of patient and pretty much the same idea of treatments, and the differences in what I found was important and my methods of doing things and some things that were done here. Now, I don't know very many of the police officers on the scene, but it doesn't look like they had an engine company or a truck company with them, which is unusual. I do actually know the medics on the scene. One of them I have a lot of respect for, the other one not so much. A lot of fire departments, and in this particular one too, I will have to say it's kind of like Animal Farm, where they try to get us all to not be partners with each other. And the one that I don't have a lot of respect for, he'll throw you under the bus in a hot second. So I'm going to have a hard time being even keeled about that. But let's move on. So July 25th, 2023, the Baltimore City Fire Department and Baltimore Police and the Maryland Transit Authority. And the reason why a transit authority is because the person was near and or on and or around the train tracks where the light rail is. This 200 blocks of South Howard Street. The caller reported there was a man lying in the middle of the street trying to kill himself and fighting people, or he was probably airboxing or something. A lot of people who take substances, and this person apparently had some substance abuse issues, and this was very close to him being, leaving a rehab. And according to his family, which I'm so sorry for their loss, was going to go meet the girlfriend. That's never good news, in my opinion. Usually they're sick together. Moving on, though. This is a very common call. So let's see, how long do they... Okay, moves on in a second. So, okay. The body-worn camera being released are from the Baltimore Police Department, the Maryland Transit Police, and Baltimore City Fire Department are not equipped, nor would they be equipped. That's, you know, everybody always quotes HIPAA. HIPAA has to do with insurance, but there are privacy issues. When it's medical, there are privacy issues, and so they wouldn't wear body-worn cameras. So, moving on. Giving us a long time to read it. Maybe I won't pause the next one. Okay, so there's telling you which camera it's coming from. Thank you.
Put him in cuffs.
Okay, so I'm going to say right off the bat, and I'm going to compare it to very much a very similar call. Right here in this area, they're pretty much on top of the hospital. They're less than 4, 5, maybe 6 blocks, They hang a left and they go maybe 4 blocks, and they're on top of one of the biggest hospitals in the city. So this is not far away. Not that I think you should not treat on scene because you're so close, but some of the timing you have to consider, you know, making sure that you get to the hospital in a timely manner if you are that close. But they're right on top of it. The light rail is over here. The guy's laying in the street here. So this is just coming into the city. So he's really gumming things up here. And with his situation, whatever it is. And the first thing this officer says is, "Why isn't he in cuffs?" Okay, so because he's having a medical emergency, maybe? The police really just don't know. They've got very little tools in their toolbox. The ones that are medics have been, you know, drink the Kool-Aid of, you know, restrain and control in situations like this. And I kind of get it, but he might be flopping around. He's not really doing much that's going to effectively hurt anybody. One of the things says he does lunge at one of the medics, and he probably did. But again, not in a very effective manner. So the first thing this guy does before he even talks to anybody on the scene is he slaps some cuffs on him. I probably wouldn't have stopped him as the medic on the scene, but I wouldn't have been happy about it. And, you know, he just doesn't, in my opinion,
Relax.
unnecessary.
Relax. Calm down, bro.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Ja, schön. Die war. Let's forget how to do it. No, it's
Hey,
what she
hey,
knows.
what's your name?
Triology, right?
All right, listen, we gotta put your arms behind your back, all right?
But how did that happen? Look.
All right, give us the other arm. I don't want your other arm. Give us your other arm.
They pee on me.
Come on, calm down. Calm down. Just give us your other arm. Come on, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so he's making 0 sense whatsoever. Whatever he's taken is not narcotic alone. Otherwise, he would just be doing, you know, one of those lean things and not breathing well. He's got something else on board that's making him hyper. You know, there could be any number of things. I'm not going to speculate. The autopsy says what 2 medications overdosed him. It wasn't a medication that the medics give him. Whatever they would give him would not be in a dose that would, like, I won't say that we're not in danger of chemically sedating somebody, over sedating them. When I've made mistakes, it's always been an under sedation. So that's usually you're under treating, not over treating, if you're following the rules or the protocols. But it's not the medication that the medics gave him. The two medications that were involved in the real problem were the two that the rehab or his doctor or whatever he goes to what gave him. Either I don't want to do any kind of victim blaming. A lot of people with an addiction mindset think one good, two better. So if the dose that they gave him wasn't correct, or if it was correct and it didn't make him feel well enough, maybe he took another dose. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But the two medications, methadone and Wellbutrin, basically, I think were the two medications that were the problem. And if it's making this, did he take something else? Did he take something that somebody gave him? That's another thing that people who are addicted to.
You're fine. You're fine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're okay.
You're good. You're good. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We're just gonna hold him right here.
Hold him right here. All right. Let's just put him in recovery. Turn over. Put him in recovery. Turn over. Turn over. Come on. Turn your head. Hey, what's wrong with you?
He said hold him so they can give him the nails.
We don't want it. Yeah, I got you. We just don't want him face down. Okay.
Stop trying to move. Stop trying to move.
Hey, stop. Calm down, bro. Calm down. Stop. You're good. You're all right. You're all right. Okay? You're all right.
Yeah, calm down.
Did you take something? You're good, man. Calm down. All right? Can we put your shoe back on for you?
No, that's close.
You want to leave it on?
It's going up.
Boss man, calm down. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Okay, they're really trying here. Again, I think the cuffs were a mistake. He's just rolling around in a very inconvenient place. So putting him on the cot and putting him in the back, yes, you are increasing the danger to the people around you and to himself, but he's not really, I mean, the person I'm comparing him in my own head to was actually banging his head on the sidewalk over and over again, just flailing on the ground. Now, I stood there. Now, again, an engine company would have stood there in a circle around the guy and really not done anything. I almost look back and think that's probably the right thing to do. I stood over my patient, who was a different patient, doing something very similar, and took a look at him for a good 15 seconds and decided that chemical restraints were the most appropriate way to go. The problem with chemical restraints in the real scheme of things is you can't get a good set of vital signs like this. You can't get an adequate set of vital signs like this. So, and you don't know what they took, and you don't know how much. So you don't know where you are. And you're going to introduce something that will sedate them. So your timing on this has to be good. So you want to introduce the sedation, and then you're going to put them on the cot, in my opinion, a good flow of events, or put them on the cot and introduce the sedation. Then as you put them in the buckles, and you don't really need to have their hands behind their back. It just makes it hard to do any assessment, an IV or anything like that. If you're going to sedate somebody, they kind of need an IV in case something happens. And let's get there.
Calm down. Take a deep breath.
Calm down, man.
Hey, stop.
That's
I might have leg shackles. Hold this. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're not having leg shackles. All right. Huh? No shackles. You don't have any? Nah. Okay. Thought I did, but as long as it's not laying face down, it'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. Shackles? Okay. This has really gone left already. Shackles? No. No.
I got the head side right here. So I give him a minute. Again, it's under this right arm, buddy. All right, so I want to pick him up. All right, one, hand up here. Great, thanks for working. Get some of this. I do. Sorry, yes, sir. That's good, that's good. Thank you.
We're trying to help you, darling. It's the police and the medics, okay?
That was like Captain Pan.
It's okay, darling. It's all right. It's okay.
I don't know what that is.
It's all right. All right, y'all must get him. They're like 6
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Absolutely.
Okay, Merlin check. Bob did 3M, Bob 36.
No, you ride. You get your vehicle. I'll ride.
I got the wallet that came from him.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's really, let's see, this goes back and shows just another angle of the whole. There's nothing new or probative there. Okay, so I'm going to, this is the one, I'm going to pull it out. And then I have to make it larger. Can I make it larger so you can't see the... This is just the report. Okay. So they do... They do have, I guess, the camera on in the back of the medic, but of course you don't want to show people's private things. And there is some pictures in the report, which again is a matter of public record. And this is the report that I have on the back. That's just the absolute report. It's nothing else. It's not really a website. It's just a PDF file, which is also a matter of public record. And I'm going to concentrate on one piece of it. So basically, we did see one of the medics go up into the ambulance, and he is going to get the medication, if you're going to chemically restrain somebody and it works properly and you do it properly, you do not need physical restraints. Physical restraints are no longer, or should no longer be necessary. The seatbelts on the stretcher should secure the person enough that even if they did try to jump or start having an uncontrolled movement, which lots of his movements are simply uncontrolled movements, they're a dyskinetic kind of wild movement from the whatever drug he's got on board. The sedation that they probably used was a benzodiazepine, probably a Versed, Dazolam, Ativan, something like that. We used to couple it with Haldol. Haldol pretty much is worthless in that situation. And way back in the day, we would couple it with Benadryl, 25 milligrams of Benadryl, saying that, if they were allergic to something, really we were just trying to sedate them. That was over sedating them. We called it a B52. And it really was overkill. Now they probably just gave him either Versed or ketamine, honestly. And I probably would have gone with the Versed with him. So 5 milligrams of Versed would not have mixed with anything. It's not enough to do anything. But what happens to him is, let's read this. At 4:33 p.m., when Mr. Ellinger had been in the ambulance for 4 minutes, one of the paramedics says, "Get his face out of that damn thing." Okay, so we saw the position of him was either 3/4 or even face down. And that is not a good position. He was flat, so I think there probably wasn't enough room for lung expansion. Nobody was trying to do anything. The hands behind his back, in my opinion, was totally unnecessary, especially since they were going to be giving the Versed. Again, after the Versed, you want to definitely get a good set of vital signs. You definitely want to get an IV going just in case something happens, which is what's going to happen here. Spoiler alert. Okay, so he appeared to be referencing Mr. Ellinger having his face against the stretcher. The other paramedic responded, "Yeah, I'm going to try to get him on his side in a second." He continued attempting to get a blood sugar sample. That is not what he's doing in the photo. In the photo, he is not getting a blood sugar. He's trying to get a blood pressure. So he's trying to put a blood pressure cuff on a guy who's got his arms behind his back with cuffs on. Okay, it's difficult to do with somebody who's not being cooperative, whether they're not being cooperative on purpose or they're not being cooperative for some other reason. Here, I'll prove it. So this is a blood pressure cuff. This is him. As you can see, he's still moving. That's where they want to get him. The one wants to get him off. The other one wants to put that blood pressure cuff on for whatever reason. He's not sedate enough. If they've given the medication by that point, he's not sedate enough for that. I would be setting up my line. I would be letting him. I would have the seatbelts on him, and be letting him move around as long as he's not hitting anybody and hurting himself until the sedation takes hold. Okay, so the first medic pulls the sheet away from his face. He's struggling against the handcuffs, though less forcefully. And so as he's calming down, the cuffs should be coming off so that they could be starting an IV. Because if he's face down with his arms behind his back, how are you going to start the line? You're going to probably want to go AC because it's the biggest thing, or hands. You can't get to anything. Okay, so he then stops struggling, and basically he stops breathing. They start life-saving efforts, get him to the hospital, probably with a pulse. And then they and then they pronounce him at the hospital a little later. So it's unsuccessful ultimately. The down lower in this report, they go through each one of the standards. Did everybody meet the standards? And all of these things going down, going down. Lots of possibilities and talking about why or why not it's applicable. Okay, and here's the only piece of the autopsy that I could get. Died of mixed drugs, methadone and bupropion, which is Wellbutrin basically, intoxication. So did he take too much? Was the dose that he was assigned too much? Whatever the reason, they're not saying that the medication that the paramedics gave him was involved in the overdose. And it really doesn't state, not in this report anyway, whether the physical restraints prevented him from breathing properly and any kind of anoxic injury was part of it. That's well beyond my medical understanding. It's well beyond what I could possibly know. There were times that I would get patients and not sedate them because I was worried, or I just didn't know. There was one particular lady that I would pick up on a regular basis, and what she told me she took and her response to that did not match in my experience. So and she had a lot of dyskinetic movement. One time she had already been rolling around on the asphalt so much she had a lot of road rash. I don't know if somebody pushed her out of a car or what happened to her. But the back of the medic looked like had a gunshot victim in there. You never know what you're going to get, and you never know how you're going to deal with it. So, and I hesitate to blame the police because they just don't have the knowledge base, and their tools are to put handcuffs on this. I don't think I would have liked it. That's one thing that I'm going to stick with here. I don't know. I don't really have a conclusion to this. I don't really have a full one side or the other opinion of it. Again, I have respect for one of the paramedics on the scene. The other one probably, is just a trash in my opinion. But but the fire department thinks he's great because he buys into that whole animal farm thing. Go ahead with what you want. You're going to get the paramedic level that you deserve. It's a call that didn't go in an ideal fashion. It really didn't. Where was the engine crew? Why wasn't there an engine crew on it? That's another good question. Usually there'd be an engine crew on something like that, so they could block traffic or help out with that, or, assist in getting a uncooperative patient in the back of the medic and make sure everything is safe for one person to be in the back by themselves with them. Oh well, I've had, like I said, good luck with those things and not so good luck. I've never had one. I don't think I've ever had one ultimately not make it, but I don't know. So bless his family, and I'm so sorry that happened, and hopefully we can just look at this and do better. Thanks.